All right,
I
and
mean,
we're
you can
live.
look it up, but you can look it up online. It'll tell you all about it.
Tim's
You
doing the
gotta
intro.
get properly
Tim's doing
spark
the
gap.
intro.
What's up?
You're doing the intro.
Yeah,
Gotta let you do your thing.
I was going to say, welcome everybody to another episode of Making Hell Nervous. This is our live fellowship Sunday nights where we invite other Christians on to hang out with us and also just chat amongst ourselves. So for everybody watching, we appreciate you being here. And if you are a Christian, let us know. We can try to send you the link somehow. We don't put it out publicly really anymore, just for the sake of trolls. So if you are a Christian and want to come on here and connect with us, get in touch with us via Facebook or some other means.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people that I sent the link to that had wanted to be here tonight.
Well, I'm going to go back to our main conversation, and I'm also going to share. We were talking just a little bit before, and all this catch everybody up. This is my motorcycle.
Nice.
Nice.
It is a 1999 Honda Shadow. When I bought it, it ran great. You could touch the engine; it was cold. You could start it right up. Everything ran great. Dustin was advising me that I may have messed it up because I got a bunch of fuel into the combustion chamber to the point where it wouldn't even turn over. And then I pulled the spark plugs out, got all the fuel out, put the spark plugs back in, and now when I try to start it, I just get that sound, and I can't get it to go past.
Well, we'll figure it out. It's a learning process. There's a learning curve, obviously. You've never.
You're saying I potentially bent the spark plugs a little. I mean, if there is spark, you still would combust, right?
You might have pre-ignition. You might have insufficient ignition. It just depends. Like, I don't know. I'm not looking at the spark plug, but I do know that if you hydrolock your cylinder, what ends up happening is that you'll push that little electrode in, right? Because the fluid is pushing up against every surface, and because it's in between the electrode and its only way out, it's going to close that gap a little bit, right? And what you need is a proper spark gap tool to check the proper spark gap in order to make sure you have sufficient spark to run your motorcycle.
Okay. I know there is spark, but that's something definitely to look into. I'll have to bounce it off my brother who helps advise me on my motorcycle every once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the current place where we're at. I bought a motorcycle. It ran great. I did some little test drives on my own property where I was just trying to figure out the whole clutch thing. I set it. I didn't shut off the fuel. I go back inside. I come back out the next day. Won't run. And that's what we're working with.
Right.
I also left it out in the rain because I didn't have a cover for it. I don't know if that did anything. I mean, the electrical seems fine, but
Are you sure it was only gas that got into your cylinder heads?
Oh,
because if water got in there, that's not good. Is it open headers or no?
What do you mean by that?
Your headers, do they have an enclosed casing or are they exposed?
I don't know what you mean by header. I don't know what a header is. I'm ignorant of this.
I'm gonna have to look at your bike a little bit better. I'm just asking if water could have gotten into your heads.
I don't think so. I mean, everything seems sealed. This is the image again. I mean, that's the top right there. It's all. I mean, generally,
I'd have to be able to look at where the exhaust comes out, and I'd also have to look at the intake.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you that information. I just wouldn't. But that would be an interesting thing to think about is whether or not rain got in there. If rain got in, would that mean that there's something broken with the bike? Or would that mean that just some bikes are like that, where they're not supposed to be?
So like if rain got in there, what you possibly looking at is there's some water in the float bowl, right? And what you want to do is you want to drain the water out of the float bowl, but it also could be why you're not turning over and achieving combustion is because you got some water that's getting in from the valve heads from like a little reservoir. I mean, there's a number of things it could be, but like I'd have to take a look at it.
Yeah. Well, it spins freely now. Once I pulled the spark plugs out, it was able to spin freely at that point. I can put the spark plugs back in and everything still rotates. So, but yeah, water would definitely stop combustion. We'll just have to see. I'll be looking into it. I have tomorrow off. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing with all of tomorrow. It's going to be very busy, but I don't have much planned. So we'll just see if I get the chance to look at it. Also, it's not supposed to get above 33 degrees outside, and I have to work on it in the driveway.
Oh,
So
I thought you're just off Sundays and Wednesdays now.
I got this Monday off for reasons.
Okay. Well, I've got Tuesday and Wednesday off. Do you know why?
Holiday. I don't know.
No, you know why. I've told you about this, Jeremiah.
It's too late. I don't remember things too late into the night.
Somebody's going to put something somewhere.
Is that
Somebody's.
do you know if that's fuel injected?
It's carburetor.
Okay, then yeah, you probably just should empty the gas out of the fuel bowl. I'm sorry, Ryan. My
Yeah,
brain
you-
gets crazy when I go to the mechanic.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, so
Yeah,
just be clear. Drain the carburetor and then see if it runs.
I've got a colonoscopy on Tuesday.
Oh yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, you're gonna go and get your colonoscopy.
Yeah, Tuesday I'm getting my colonoscopy. I took Tuesday and Wednesday off. Saturday, day before yesterday, I lost a friend. The mother of an old friend of mine passed away, and she was a good woman. I have some great memories of them when I was a kid. Going to the fair and doing stuff, sleepovers, all that stuff. She worked for the Postal Service in the personnel department for many years until she retired. Her husband was my mail carrier when I was a kid. She helped me get on at the post office. She pulled strings and she pushed me because, back when I was young in my 20s, I didn't really have any ambition in life. I really didn't aspire to anything. And she helped me get on with the post office. And she passed away from a major stroke, a massive stroke. And yeah, it was tough. It's tough because my friend, he lost his dad a few years ago, and now he's lost his mom. So let's keep that family in your prayers, if you would.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. I went to the hospital when she was in ICU, and she was non-responsive. I tried to speak to her. I prayed over her,
Right.
but I believe that she loved the Lord, and I believe that she is with Him now. So I didn't mean to put a damper on the evening by saying that, but
No, you're fine.
okay. Did everybody go to church this morning?
I did.
I did too. My pastor spoke about Judgment Day, and just a really great sermon. Pastor Joe, great sermon.
Yeah. Very cool.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
We've got a wild game. What do you call it? Wild game banquet coming up on the 7th.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, I finished the book of Luke today, and so I'll be in John tomorrow, and then right on through the epistles as well. So making good progress on getting through the Bible, and then I'm just going to start right back over at Genesis. So,
All right, good.
Amen.
Yeah, on my if you guys tune in on Thursday nights, I just finished Exodus, and I'm not sure where I'm going from there. I'll talk about it with you guys between now and Thursday. I thought about going ahead and skipping to Matthew. I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to study the book of Job, to read the book of Job, because Jeremiah, do you remember when you, me, and Loria used to do our Bible studies over the phone? We were talking about Job.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it was back when I was still living with my brother, and I think that is when we really became good friends, when we were studying Job. I think that was when it really solidified our friendship. So I might do Job. I don't know.
Do you know why it was important to Satan to make a bet with God over Job?
Why was it?
Because in Satan's mind, Job was more important than any other. By some metric of his being righteous was related to his importance or value.
Yeah.
And Satan was trying to set up a value-based system.
Yeah, because God said, "Consider my servant Job," and so he was singling out Job as being one of his good servants. And the devil said, "Well, you just wait till I get done with him."
right.
So, and God was like, "Okay, sure."
Well, yeah, no, he was trying to see if Job would turn on God, blaspheme him, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine.
And the benefit to Satan would be the value of possessing Job.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you mean value of possessing Job?
It's like saying this animal may be yours, but in all reality, I can tell the animal to sit, and the animal will sit as though it belongs to me. Right? Like I know it belongs to you, but I take liberties with it that I shouldn't, irrespective of how you feel about it.
Well, Satan had to get permission from God to even touch Job to begin with, and it was based on again, Job being favored by God, and then Satan basically making a bet that, if you let me mess with him, you allow me to do that, then he will turn on you and blaspheme you. That was the
right
basis of what happened there.
Because in Satan's mind, Job had a particular value.
Right. I could see that.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is anybody in the queue? Anybody to sent links to? Andrew, Samuel, William. I sent links to them.
We'll let you know if they pop in.
Okay. Well, if they, but Samuel actually did message me and said, "Hey, I'd like to join you guys Sunday night." So I said, "I'll send you a link." So we'll see.
Anyway, I was looking up an interesting Bible verse. What was it? Wasn't I quoting it to you? Where is it? Okay, Romans 1, 24, 26, and 28. Would you pull that up? Hello?
I'm pulling it up. Romans 6, you said?
I said 124.
Romans chapter 1.
24, 26, and 28. versus I think that's what that was.
Okay, let me pull this up. You said 24. There we are. Can you see that?
26. Yeah, I got it. Wherefore God also gave them to an uncleanliness. What happened? Therefore, the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. It keeps shifting.
Let me just make sure it can see it all quick. Okay. I don't know why it's doing this. 24. If it will stop shifting. 24 right at the top.
24. Wherefore God also gave them to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts. It keeps shifting. To dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worships and served the creatures more than the creature, or the creator, the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For
That
this
is
caused
why.
God. What?
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
For this caused God to give them to a vile affection. It keeps shifting.
That
For
is why I
even
have normal Bibles.
or even their woman did change nature's use into which that is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burdened in their lust one onto another, men with men, working in which is unseemly, and receiving in them that recompense of their error which was meet. That's an interesting verse, isn't it?
Every time an ad pops up, it tries to shift the whole thing. I am never using that again.
It didn't make it easy to read.
No, they did not. Did you see how many ads were popping up on the side and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of ads on that site.
It's why I have one of these.
Yeah, amen to that.
Extra big print, easy to read.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
ads pop out.
yeah, those are the scriptures in Romans there about reprobate, and that's the thing is people who resist God for a certain amount of time, He's going to give them over, and that also goes for Christians too. Christians can be reprobate as well, whereas they keep going out of God's will, God just gives them over to what they want, and next thing they know, they're facing some pretty bad consequences like death, things like that.
Like they did, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was on the verge of that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I feel like in 2019, it's like, okay, I'm going to give you one more chance, Ryan. And I said, if you don't turn to me, I don't know. It's just my own thinking on that. My intuition was that was my last chance, and I'm so glad I turned to God.
Amen.
I did.
Amen to that.
You were like Barabbas before Jesus was going to be sacrificed. He's like, you got one more chance, buddy. I'm going to take this cross for you one more time.
I am Barabbas. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think all of us are Barabbas. We really are. That song. Hey, in less than a month, me and my sister are going to go see Josiah Clean. Yeah.
He sacrificed himself for the Father. Do you know what's funny about Barabbas? Abba is father.
Barabbas or Barabbas?
Was it Barabbas or I don't know. I forget the name.
Barabbas.
Barabbas. Yeah, but Abba is father.
Mm-hmm.
He did sacrifice himself for the Father. in multiple different ways.
Yeah. I can't even imagine how Barabbas would have felt when he was expecting to be crucified and he was freed. I mean, he was. That's us, you know.
Yeah.
We should have been crucified. We were freed.
Yeah. Yeah. We put Jesus on that cross.
Yes, I
Amen.
know. And that's why I just that's such a beautiful picture of what we all should have been, you know. And God rescued us. He saved us, and I'll tell you, if you don't know Him, oh, you're so missing out. You are so missing out on life. And by the way, I met on Thursday to read the Bible verse of the day that day, and I printed it out several years ago and put it in a little frame. I went through this phase of printing out Bible verses and putting them in frames. And if you come to my house here, apartment, you'll see that they're all over the place. But this is Hebrews 12:11. It says, "Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby." Oh yeah, I lived that. I lived that. In 2019, I was devastated, and I was like, I'm in misery. I'm. Why did this happen? I don't understand why this happened. I'm just so devastated. But now, 7 years later, I look back and I say, yeah, that needed to happen.
Yeah.
That needed to happen. I understand why it happened.
I'll tell you what, it's even for believers and unbelievers alike. I know the atheists, it's a different story. The atheists are just kind of, atheists are kind of brain dead if they can't accept that there's something higher than themselves out there.
Right.
But like to the agnostics and the unbelievers that do believe there is a God, just not the Christian God, it's like I always wind up saying, what's the alternative? Because someone who rejects God's word as revealed truth from God himself, then the real question becomes, if there's no revealed truth from God, then how can you know God? And if somebody says again, like, if they say, well, he speaks to you, in your thoughts or something, then it's like, okay, well, what if he speaks to the guy down the street in their thoughts and tells that guy to go commit murder? Which one is actually hearing God? Like without a perfect standard, you don't have any foundation to base anything off of. Every single atheist borrows from the Christian worldview, and even the agnostics do too, because God, the God of the Bible, is the one who revealed himself as the absolute authority on all things.
Mhm.
So I just, it's funny because it's either Jesus Christ, the Bible, or chaos. And everybody seems to cling to chaos and they think it's order when it's not.
Yeah.
You start pointing out the inconsistencies in their stuff. I've seen Jeremiah do it with these guys that come in here and stuff. Just the ridiculous amount of inconsistency and how they blatantly just lie. And it's like you have nothing but chaos. You don't have any foundation. You just have chaos.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's really funny how simple it is to figure out, where God is compared to these chaotic subjective ideas that float around out there.
I don't know if you can reach them anymore. We've gotten to the point where they pretend like they don't understand what simple words mean anymore, thus making conversation impossible.
Right.
It is. It's like imagine being so demoralized that being shown evidence right in your face, undeniable evidence, and just walking away from it like it's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted, Jeremiah.
Yeah, you're muted, Jeremiah.
The thing that I found out that was really shocking with them was they would admit, yes, it's alive. Yes, it's human. New life starts at conception was what they would say. And then I'd say, okay, so do babies have rights? And they'd say, no, kill it. Doesn't matter if it's 9 months along and it's about to be born. If they want it killed, sure. Now, not all of them said that. Some said maybe you should try to take out the baby if it can live on its own. But mass majority was like, yeah, mother has the right to say if it lives or not. And I'm like, this is a human who isn't you. You don't necessarily get that right.
Right.
I'm sorry. Look, I have to disagree with you, but not because you're wrong, but because we are the exception of the rule. Okay, because anywhere else you see in nature, mothers eat their young. They will wean young. I mean, these are things that are in nature. We see them all over the place.
So what is your disagreement?
I don't disagree with you. I'm pointing out that it's even more special because we're the exception to the rule. Right? Because we can choose to or not to, whereas in nature, most of the time they're just reacting to nature.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you had a disagreement with me.
Technically I disagree, but not in principle, but in form. Do you understand?
No, I don't. I got to be honest, I don't.
Well, I think what he's trying to get at, I think what he's trying to get at is that people like us who hold to the Bible, we understand where life begins, whereas lost people like the atheists, they just make it up as they go. So it's like, to us, we know it's wrong, but an atheist can't discern that because they don't even have God as their foundation. I think that's kind of what he was getting at.
Okay.
More or less, but
Yeah.
more to the point, in nature, which is completely godless,
But
they
that's
have
why,
no
yeah,
qualms, right, about terminating their young.
right.
I mean, here in our realm of existence, where we are human, we have the ability to feel like guilty about that. I don't think a tiger does. Do you?
Yeah, no.
We are the
That's
exception to the rule.
Oh yeah, no, I get it, and that's where again, if you believe in the stupidity of evolution, yeah, you'll think, well, we're just animals, so we should be able to do whatever we want with our young compared to the animal kingdom and stuff, and it's
Ding,
just
ding, ding.
yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, but it's that lack of foundation, it's the lack of foundation in God's word, and that's why atheism, naturalism, humanism is all stupid.
Right. By process of elimination.
By process
If
of
we're looking
elimination.
at it from
Yeah.
if we're looking at it from their perspective, they don't believe that there's any real purpose in life, right? So and by what comparison can we see in nature that has that same ideal? Any wild animal?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway,
Well, the simple thing to point out, and kind of what Tim was getting at, is you tell somebody that they're an animal over and over and over, and that their great grandparents were just animals, and then we all act surprised when they
or
act like
bananas
animals.
and rice.
Yeah. We all act surprised when they act like animals.
Exactly.
It's very true.
Yeah, being an evolutionist isn't all bananas and rice. I don't know, Jeremiah. What do you think? Do you think you're getting through to any of these people?
No, I don't. I do it because of the audience. In the beginning, I got to admit, I was hoping that maybe Sable would think about these things, but he just shut down whenever he was, convinced whenever it was obvious that he was losing. When it comes to the others, I mean, they're so just willing to try to point out some flaw in you more than actually come to some kind of truth. At least most of them. For example, something that really got me. We had somebody on our show just last night who has been accused by haters to be some kind of child molester. Okay, or like that they do horrible stuff. Essentially, they've been accused of
It was incestuous relations.
that too. Anyway, so they've been accused of all of this. I spent 2 seconds and I just said, "Are these claims true?" They said no. I said, "Okay, then we're moving forward." Everybody after that was like, "How dare you let them on?" And I'm like, "How dare I let someone on who you guys think are in incestuous relationship or whatever, when you guys think murdering babies are okay? How do I let you on?" You know what I mean? Like, I didn't say that to him because I was trying to have a calm conversation, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, which one would be significantly worse? Someone who's like, yeah, murder the babies, or someone who's having in this case, you know, a consensual, you know, incestual relationship. Obviously, both are not good. But if I had to pick, I would say pro-murder babies is worse. Like, so,
I see, and this is the thing, right? Humans have this artificial scale in our mind where, by comparison, there's like a quantifiable difference. I don't know that that's even the case. I think we're all equal sinners, right? I think that
I'm talking
if you
from
were
their
to
standpoint.
fight,
I'm talking from their
Yeah.
standpoint. They're saying that this is so bad, but then they're like, yeah, murder the babies. And I'm like, so you don't want me putting that person on our show because they're potentially advocating
Right.
something. They deny all claims, by the way.
because of some arbitrary like idea of what's worse, right?
Yeah, but then you want to come on here and argue about how it's okay to murder babies.
Right.
So, you know, I don't really feel like a lot of this audience has the ground to say any of this, to get on any of this.
Well, but Jeremiah, they're not babies; they're fetuses.
Wow. Oh, that changes everything. Let's just rename it. I wasn't speeding. I was going fast.
I'm not a person. I'm an adult.
You know?
If you ain't first, you're last.
Well, no. Well, technically, if we're using the law of relativity, the world was going by me while I was standing still. I was going exactly 0.
Wow.
So
Ain't that a thought?
technically, that's how that works, and both observations are true.
Well, I was raised that the world revolved around me, right?
Right. Yeah, really.
I was raised thinking that everything just happens to me. I don't get to cause, you know, any decisions. I don't get to choose. So yeah, the world was going past me at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even like all the way down to the measurement, like you realize that our measurement of time is based on a cycle, right? Like something as mundane as how long it takes for the Earth to go around the sun.
I believe it takes a year.
Right, but like it's I don't know, it's ridiculous to me. Like we use our methods for keeping time are tied to pure mechanical celestial movements, right? Like they used to call it the lunar calendar for a reason. But if you add like another month, it actually balances out.
Yeah, are you the one that sent that video? Why do we not have 13?
I did.
Yeah,
I
saw
did.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, interesting.
You would eliminate the leap year. Yeah, absolutely. It would come out even. I don't understand what happened. Why did our calendar change? Because it was like that before.
Like 10 months or something?
No, it was 13. According to the lunar
People argue that
calendar.
it was the other way, that we had like 10 or something, and then, you know, some king wanted their name on a month, and then some other guy wanted their name on a month, and they started making more slices to the pie.
Right.
That's what I
Yeah.
heard, anyways.
Well, I mean, it depends on what source of history you're looking at, like, right? Like, I mean, some Egyptian accounts will have like a king rule for like a couple thousand years and not even sneer at it, right? Like, it's our method of measuring time, like our method of measuring grain, like it's all damaged, all of it. Like, there's no real such thing as a true measurement.
So let me ask you guys, year 3, what's your opinion? Where should I go next in my Bible reading? I've just finished Exodus, and Tim thought I should just go all the way through the entire Bible. What do you think,
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy.
Okay. How about you, Jeremiah?
Well, I know that Ryan personally wanted to go with Job. I really like the idea of going through the entire Bible, but I got to be honest.
That's a very long time.
Well, I don't care. I think it's awesome. I think we got quite a bit of time.
Yeah, right.
2 or 3 chapters a night, 2 or 3 chapters a week.
However, I don't want to pressure Ryan into having to read through the book of Numbers if he doesn't want to.
There are a lot of hard to pronounce names,
Yeah,
hard to pronounce words in the Old Testament. And I'm like, how do I even pronounce that word?
So if he wants to take a break and go to Job, which is a higher vocabulary book, or maybe one of the other ones, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John.
I thought about the Gospels. Should I fast forward?
Maybe if you let me finish, I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
Maybe tackle one of those and then come back. Personally, I do like the idea of just diving through the whole thing, but I also get it if it fatigues you.
Yeah.
I just, 2 or 3 chapters a week going through the entire Old Testament. We're talking years, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it some more. I've still got some days left.
Don't they have condensed Bibles?
Yeah, but then you're taking away.
Yeah, you're taking away from the Word of God.
You're taking away from the Word of God if you do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from the Word of God. I mean, if I'm going to.
You want to see a condensed version of the Bible, read Mark.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Mark does in the beginning?
Yeah,
Mark in the very beginning just like whacks through all of the beginning stuff. He's like, and there was a guy named John who baptized Jesus. Then Jesus went into 40 days of what do you call it? Fasting, and he was tempted, and then he came back. And like he just like blasts through in like a verse or two the entire introduction. This is like I don't care about that.
Mark said, "Well, Matthew covered this, Luke covered this. I can just sort of skip through all the details and just cut to the chase because these guys already covered it." And then I think John is the most spiritual. The fact that John referenced Genesis at the beginning of his gospel, I think was really cool. Really cool. He said, "This is the beginning of my gospel. It reflects the beginning of the entire Bible." And I thought that was so cool. The way
they all did it with their own expertise.
Yeah.
One of them, I believe, was a doctor, if I wasn't mistaken.
Luke.
Another one was a tax collector.
Matthew.
So like you go through the different ones and their expertise and what stuck out the most to them, and you can sew together a picture from between them.
Right. Yeah, it's really cool how each gospel was written for a different audience, was written in a different style.
I mean, what were the books written thousands of years apart?
No, not the Gospels.
Well, I mean, hundreds. Some of them weren't they?
No, they were all
some of the books
close together. They were all written pretty because Matthew was one of the obviously was written within his lifetime. He was one of the disciples. Mark, I believe, wasn't he a disciple of Paul? Wasn't he he lived in Paul's time, and so did Luke. They were all pretty close to
quite a bit of controversy over that.
Hey, uh-oh.
What's
Okay,
that?
never mind. Oh, the stream like went down for a second, so that was kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's about, yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. I was just gonna stay on for about 40 minutes or so.
Tim, do you want to address before you leave the claim Dustin made about the people argue who wrote the books of the Bible versus it being the name?
Oh yeah, there's always debate between that because the scholars can't get their heads on straight. That's where we just believe the Bible and it came together the way God wanted it. You know, those are the authors. Like, we have many manuscripts that confirm that they've authored them. Like, yeah, yeah, scholars are always going to be arguing. They're never going to get things settled because they're just too much of a donkey between each other to get things right. So
Yeah.
Scholarship.
Here, I gotta be honest. I haven't done too much research, so I do come from a slight place of ignorance with this one. However, I would say, from my understanding, from what a lot of the archaeologists have said, is yes, those people, especially when it comes to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, those people wrote those books, and they can go back and figure out who wrote which books, and all the ones that have a direct name on it, that guy wrote that book.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know enough to argue it. So at the end of the day, I do got to take more of a position that Tim does.
Yeah. But all right, guys,
All right.
I'm jumping off for the night. I'll
All
catch
right,
you all later.
All right, brother Tim. You have a blessed night.
You too. Good night, brothers.
Good night.
I guess I better get behind stage to manage the stream if he's gone. Because right
He
now,
pulled the ripcord and jumped out of the freaking plane. He's like, bye, guys.
I just got to make sure stream is rolling and everything. Because he just left, and I was like, wait, nobody's watching the stream. We're in a car flying down the freeway. Okay, got it. I'm on. So nobody can say anything bad because I can take that down. So.
Oh, but did you notice how the argument shifted? Buckingham, did you see that? Because originally it was these things are not alive, right? So they shouldn't have rights.
Oh yeah, over the course of the last 3 or so shows.
Yeah, then it was like, oh, it doesn't matter that it's a living thing. You're trying to tell women what they should do.
Here's the thing. They want to say that they always stumped me and all this whatnot. But, like, I was able to smoke them out of the water with just common knowledge and facts. And then say, well, you're not, reviewing any of the sources you pick up. You just grab something random. I'm like, well, the show's moving fast paced. Yes, I grab something random. But when it comes down to it, I know what is right and what isn't because I've done the research in the back. I think it was that talk with Grace when she came on. I said, I've seen, deep web media sources that you can't show on here because it will just take it down, like traumatize the person who sees it. I've never thought you can get traumatized from witnessing a video. I have now. I witnessed a video and wanted to throw up of how visibly horrible it was. And I can't explain to you how bad it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like the gore in movies is nothing like the gore of real life. I just can't express it otherwise. But yeah, I walked them back. I just kept walking them back. They would say, it's not alive. It's just a parasite. It's just a tumor. It's just a cancer. And I realized I wasn't going to get anywhere with them when they said it's a parasite. I was like, no, it's not a parasite. And my main reasoning was, the host of a parasite doesn't have a special organ designed only to take care of the parasite.
True.
They don't have to. There's a uterus and a placenta and all these other fancy words that are just for baby making that have no other purpose.
Yeah.
And I don't have a special chamber in my body for a tapeworm.
Right.
A one-stop shop for baby making.
Right.
Are you seriously making that argument?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you seriously make the argument that it's a one-stop baby shop making?
I'm specifically saying that there are organs in a woman that are designed for making babies. And if people are offended, well, you're going to have to deal with your own biology. That's what it is.
That's too funny.
Anyway,
That's hilarious.
My point is it's clearly not a parasite because of certain circumstances. I'm not going to go into all of them because we had this talk over the last 3 weeks. But once I got
Well, no, but the thing is I agree with you, Jeremiah. You're right, because like, in what way, right? They'll argue that like the flora and the fauna like coexisted in an evolutionary path, right? But what they won't tell us is what the flora and fauna split from, right? Because there had to have been an original template. You know, it doesn't make sense if you have a burger, but you don't have a grill to cook it with, right? So there had to have been something that accommodated both functions that later split.
Yeah. I want to be very clear. A lot of people are saying how I can't actually have this conversation with people. I just kick them off instead. I only kicked people who couldn't handle themselves and were constantly pissing their pants on stream. It was embarrassing for them. It was embarrassing for us. And I don't allow that on the show. I'd try to mute them first and be like, okay, let's try to get back on topic. They would accuse me of shutting down. I'd shut down them pissing their pants, but like I wouldn't try to shut down the conversation. And then eventually, if they did it too many times, I'd be like, okay, this isn't being beneficial. Okay? I don't know how else to say it. But what I want to get at, right?
Wait.
Over the last 3 weeks, what I've learned is we defeated the argument of it not being alive. We actually had an entire show, I think it was the week before this one, which was when is it life? Not when is it a baby, because I know people like to have different definitions for that. When is it alive? And people wanted to dance around that one too. I don't even remember who it was, but there was one person who was like, oh, life has always been here. And I'm like, well, but yeah, but new life starts when he's like, oh, new life. He didn't say it. I was like, whatever. When does new life start? And he says at conception. And that's why I like saying new life starts at conception. A lot of them agree with this. Once you get them to agree it's life, right? And then you can look at the DNA and see what type of life it is. It's human life. I don't care what you call it. You can call it cancer. You can call it a tumor. You can call it a parasite, a fetus, a zygote. It's alive and it's human and it's not you. We know that much. Then we're talking about individual rights and where they come from. And people are like, oh, I don't want to get philosophical. That's what it got down to at a certain point. That's what it is. Philosophy has a part in reality. So then you go and talk about where are rights. And that's where you got down to truly what these people believe. These people believe that babies have no rights until they are apart from the mother. And that it is completely justified on the mother's whim to destroy this beautiful little baby. And they even talk, what are the classifications of life? No. What are the classifications that we give rights to? One of them was like property ownership, which I'm not seeing where that one's fit in the last couple of years. But one of them that stuck out to me was the ability to interpret pain. Essentially, is this person aware? And what I found is, yes, babies in the womb can understand pain. They shake, they flee, they get scared. They have nervous systems. They know what pain is.
Doesn't start at copulation. Technically the sperm and the egg are alive long before copulation ever takes place. So, they are technically right.
Well, however, that is not new life, and it's not new DNA.
Right. No, it wouldn't be. Well, the recombination would make it technically a new copy of DNA.
Well, yeah, that's when conception happens. That's new life, and that's what he was getting at. He kept wanting to dance around it and say, well, life's always been because sperm and eggs are alive. But there's something
I mean,
different when you have
technically that's technically a correct argument, right? Because sperm and eggs, they are technically living, right? So I mean, if there was nothing dead to begin with, they didn't really technically come to life.
I'm not saying that his argument wasn't an argument, that it was something that laughed out of the room. I'm simply saying it was a red herring. It was a valid argument of a point that was not being made. It's like if I'm talking about the safety of motorcycles and then you start going down the safety of cars. I don't care. It's not what we're getting at. We're talking about motorcycles here. Sorry, my brain's still on motorcycles. I love my motorcycle. But the general idea is I'm talking about new life, and they start talking about previous life. I'm talking about when does a new life start, and that's when we got very clear, and we got down to the individual words. When does a new life start?
I would imagine that it would have. I mean, I don't know, man.
And
right? Because again,
there's a difference between the dying extension of your life, which is things like the cells of skin that you have, where that's not necessarily you, it is just owned by you. And then the starting of a new life, which is when something is not you, it is somebody else, and it is their DNA, and it's growing. And if you look at it, eggs only last for a certain amount of time, and they're diving downhill. And sperm only lasts for a certain amount of time, and they're diving downhill. They are an extension of you that are dying. The moment the two combined, it is a completely different situation. It is a U-turn. It is a 180. You go from two extensions that are dying to something new that is growing rapidly. And it is very obvious that there is new life here. And I'm not even talking about that in the literal sense. I'm saying in figurative sense as well. There is new life being brought into this project. It is going up in energy. It is going up in size. It is going up, up, up versus that extension of you that is going down and down and down. I played enough devil's advocate and debate over the last couple of Saturdays. I'd like to move on to something a little bit more constructive.
Okay. All right. Where do you want to head to next, Jeremiah?
I don't know. This is fellowship. This is hangout. It's just for all of us.
Yeah.
So whoever.
I mean, it's what we're dealing with, though. In all honesty, is a very conceited effort to turn everything into a zero-sum game. I don't know if you've noticed that. Am I crazy, or is that like the strategy here?
What do you mean zero-sum game?
Like, I've noticed that every time somebody tries to come against you with an argument, I mean, regardless of the subject, right? Ultimately, the goal is to turn it into a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
right. Where it doesn't matter if you have a point or if I have a point. Ultimately, the way it is the way it is, right? And it doesn't matter. They're trying to say that why are you even arguing about this? You don't know what you're arguing about, so it's a zero-sum game. No one should even listen to you, right? Do you see where I'm going with this?
You're trying to draw the attention away from me and draw away the importance. If I was trying to kill a bunch of people, in which I understand that they're not directly trying to do, I'm not accusing them of that. But let's just say I was 100% evil. I was the devil, and I was like, I'm going to destroy all these people. And then somebody comes up and shines a spotlight on me and says, "You're an evil person. Everybody look this way." The first thing I would try to do, if I couldn't destroy them outright, would be, "Oh, he's not pointing out anything special. He's not, don't look over here. It's not relevant. It's not important. It's not necessary. He's not doing anything special." That's what I would do next. I try to divert people. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying, "Oh, well, don't look over there. It's a zero-sum game, as you said. It doesn't matter what his point is, even if he was right. Just don't look that way."
This is hilarious. Oh man, these guys have nothing better to do. I wonder if any of them even have a job.
They show up every night. I mean, they are some of our most loyal fans. Why can't we ever
Imitation is the,
chat?
What's
Because I
that?
know that there's some people who genuinely like us. We don't have 364 subscribers for nothing. I mean, somebody has to naturally like us out there, but I never see it.
You're right. I mean, why is it that only the haters enter the chat? You know, why don't
because all the respectable people are at work
good point.
or at church.
I guess you're
We're
right.
watching Ryan stuff. Granted, we get a lot of a lot of favor from our audience on Ryan's stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, believe it or not, the people that are coming in there and hating on us are actually helping us. They're helping us get more views, and I appreciate that. We appreciate all of the
Interact.
you know, we appreciate all the interaction, because the more interaction we get, the more views we get. So even if someone comes in and hates on us, they're helping us. They're really helping us, and we appreciate that. You know, so
You can put the blame on me. You can put the blame on me.
Justin is the you know, he's the one that
I'm the hot potato. Everybody hates me. I'm getting up there with Kent Hovind.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to piss off those kinds of people. It's kind of strange, man. Like I keep trying to explain that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. These guys are putting my face on them. It's pretty. I don't know.
You live rent free in their heads, Dustin. You live rent free.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, we appreciate that.
Well, we are thanking you guys right now for the audience who's trying to take all the credit. And they're like, you owe us everything. I wouldn't say we owe you everything, but
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? You particularly, what would you take in trade, guys?
Yeah, I mean, last time I
Some
checked,
scripture?
last night, Jeremiah, your stream got last time I checked, it was like 100 and some odd views. You know, and that's great. We love that. You know,
my confrontation streams get the most viewership while live. I know that much.
Yeah.
Not that it's much. I'm not trying to brag here, but we get about 100 views right after we stop the live.
Oh yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So I mean, our channel is very small, but I mean, it is interesting how people arguing on the internet is the most popular thing.
It is. And you know what? We started in November of 24 with 0 subscribers. So, you know, even if we've got 364 or whatever it is now, I mean, that's, you know, each one of those people matters. Each one of those people, you know, is someone, I don't know who they are. I mean, I tell people about us all the time.
We dropped one. We were 363.
Oh no, we need to come on, somebody come subscribe to us. But when I'm out in the real world, as you say, I talk about us all the time. You know, and I'll tell you what, I've given out nearly 1,000 of our business cards, and I'm almost out. I'm going to have to go to the guy here in town that has the print shop. And I'm going to say, hey, I need another 500. I'm running out. Ran out.
Ryan, the chat is proving my point. They're like, well, too bad for Jeremiah because I'm here for Ryan, and then they have heart emojis. The people are here for you. They like you. We have haters and Ryan fans. Just saying, like.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't try to be the most likable person. I just.
You get over it, Ryan. They gave you the super hypnosis glasses in the secret mailman meeting. We know.
Well, you know,
Ryan, if I have to be honest, I put you as the good vibes guy. I said you're just going to read the Bible. You're going to be there for people to have a good time, to relax, to be peaceful, edified in the Word, and that people are going to like that.
Yeah,
wait, isn't it ironic that the guy who's best at delivering the good news is a mailman?
Yeah. You know, I just I try to put out positive vibes. Like when I'm doing my Thursday night readings, you know, I've got the candles lit. You know, you got the color changing lights, and I'm sipping on the chamomile tea, you know, and I'm just trying to project love to people and happiness and, you know, just peace. And I'm reading out of God's word, and we're just having a good time together. It's kind of like, you know, Franklin Roosevelt used to have the fireside chats. It's kind of like, I don't have a fireplace, but, you know, I do have candles, and it's kind of like a fireside chat. You know, it's just me and the audience, and we're just hanging out together, and we're reading the word.
Candles and Bible don't mix. Candles and Bible don't mix. Don't ever say that again.
Even Sable, I just keep reading the chat. Even Sable is like, I used to be a fan of Ryan until he had different beliefs about Palestine. So
Really?
Who are known, I don't want to call them enemies, but people who are known to disagree with us and want to constantly argue with us, they liked Ryan. So,
well, no, I had to call Sable out about Palestine because he was defending terrorists, and I was like, I'm sorry, but you know, they're terrorists, and you shouldn't defend them. You know, and you know, there's real genocide going on in Africa right now, in Nigeria, and that's being ignored by those same people. And I just think it's a double standard.
Jeremiah, not to step on you, Ryan. Grace wants to come on. Grace Thorpe or whatever.
yeah, well, I'm thinking about shutting down the show soon. I do appreciate that offer. Maybe another night.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching
I got a
Grace.
lot I need to do tomorrow morning. So
Yeah,
I'm going to have to turn it down tonight.
All right.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But this show, I do, as I said, like, that's great and everything. But this show, particularly tonight, isn't necessarily about viewership. It's mainly about keeping us accountable with being friends with each other. Because I have seen so many ministries get too caught up in work and not enough about laying back and laughing. I hit record so that other people can see us do this, but at the end of the day, it's supposed to be Christian with Christian, and I know you are, just hanging out and chilling. It's not about the views. So maybe next week you can pop on the brutal rejection. I'm sorry, but it's what we got to do. Is we got to shut down the show soon, anyways.
okay. And you know, hopefully next week, maybe some of the ones that asked me to send them a link will be here next week, maybe. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, like I said, Ryan, most people who are respectable have jobs.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we've all got jobs to go to tomorrow.
You got more good news to deliver.
Okay, I want to be clear with something. They're saying that he's still flirting and all that whatnot. I'm married. Just want to say that right now for everybody who doesn't know. I am married. And if anybody wasn't certain, this is all live. My wife edits a lot of this. She's going to see all of this. So not available, taken. Love my wife. And as far as too old goes, my wife's 5 years older than me. So don't ever, as far as anybody else says, don't ever think that because somebody's too old or too young that it doesn't work out, as long as it's within the legal parameters, just to be clear.
Okay, so you're heading out?
Marriage means nothing to people who aren't saved. Because you guys promised nobody. See, I promised God I would stay married. That means everything. I'm accountable to the creator of the universe. That means everything. There is nothing that could mean more. To you guys, and I've done quite a bit of research on this, watching a lot of other people's content and everything, marriage to non-believers, yeah, pretty much means nothing. People are talking about how they want to get married so that they can say that they're an ex-wife to somebody. They want to get married to get divorced. So, yeah, to some people, they see it as nothing.
Marriage has been completely bastardized since the very first time they figured out they could use it as a weapon, because marrying into a family that is wealthy means that the family that's wealth has to share with the one that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it turns out, isn't it? I mean, when you get divorced, the lady gets half or more.
right? So what does that mean? It's a redistribution of wealth. It's always been used as a weapon. It's supposed to be holy matrimony, but that's not how this works anymore. I mean, even back in the day, what was the old trope? Three pigs and a and a sheep, and you can marry my daughter. And if the pigs are not big enough, I cast a curse upon you and your family.
Just
That's
to be
how it
clear,
worked, right?
Just to be clear, there's been a little bit of miscommunication. My wife is 5 years older than me, for those who don't know.
And she and I,
I mean,
wonderful woman, wonderful woman.
I didn't need to know anything about that, but
The
Thank you,
chat's going
Jeremiah.
crazy. I just wanted to mention it. I'm not going to go into too much detail about my relationship, but she is 5
I mean,
years
how old are you? How old are you, Jeremiah?
22.
You're 22, rocking a house with a wife and kids, bro. You don't need to justify anything to these people.
And I got a boat,
Yeah.
a car, and a motorcycle.
Yeah,
Dude, you don't have to just. Well,
Impressive.
you have a broken motorcycle, but that's beside the point.
Oh, it worked yesterday.
Jeremiah doesn't like it when I say this, but he's way more mature than I was at his age. I was just a kid at his age. I really was. I didn't know nothing when I was 20.
Especially on stage, because I am prone to pridefulness. And
I know. I don't mean to do that, but I mean, just seriously, me at your age, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing.
Oh, you're doing something right, man. Like I can't. I don't know what it is, but you're doing
I ask
something
God
right.
for wisdom every single day since my childhood. I watched the Nest Entertainment. It's an animated movie about the Bible. They call it Nest Entertainment. You can look it up. They have little videos where they'll talk about different people in the Bible. One of them was about King Solomon.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, I got the message that if you asked God for wisdom, he would not withhold that from you. And I said, understood. So I asked for wisdom and I didn't feel wiser. So the next day I asked for wisdom and I didn't feel wiser. So the next day I asked for wisdom and I didn't feel wiser. And years down the road, I still don't feel any wiser. But everybody else now looks dumb in my eyes. So something happened.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a boastful way. As I said, I have a problem with pride. I don't want to go down that road. But I mean, to an extent, I have to admit, as I have grown from the age of 7, I have grown wiser. To measure that wisdom, I don't think you can, whether it be more or less than other people. But I'll let other people speak on that behalf.
You know, it's kind of funny. I mean, because you have to guard against pride, Jeremiah. I have to pride against idolization. You know,
You pride against idolization.
I have to guard against idolization.
Oh.
Did I say pride against it?
I thought I did. We can rewatch the
I
video.
might have said it, but I have to guard against idolization. That's
I
a
think
weakness
we all
I have that I need to be careful about. I need to be careful.
I am a very naturally lazy person. I know it may not look that way sometimes, but I'm very naturally lazy.
Me too.
The only times I work hard is because I'm trying to be lazy in the future. I'm saving money. I'm working hard and saving money. Why? So I can retire early and not do anything.
I think that everybody is naturally lazy, and we have to have something to motivate us, you know, to do better, to get up. And, you know, I've told you on days off, I sometimes just waste the day, you know, and I don't do anything productive sometimes. And I'm trying not to do that.
That's dude, no. Okay, every once in a while you need to do that, Ryan.
Well, one day
It is actually
you know,
Huh?
you do need to have a Sabbath day. And that's in the Bible. And Charlie Kirk's book, Stop in the Name of God, it advocates that we do need to have a Sabbath. Yeah, we do. You do need to rest 1 out of 7 days. That is true, Dustin. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, and yeah, I mean, it's good for you. It's good for the body, right? Because you build up all kinds of toxins, all kinds of lactic acid.
right? Urea and endorphins. They're good when they're released originally, but once they get attached to the neuroreceptors, they start exchanging chemicals and become waste. Your body has to clean that out.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to shut down the show here. I'm tired, and
Me too.
I'm the last host here. So I said I was gonna shut it down forever ago. I keep it up for whatever reason. But
Have a good one, Jeremiah.
goodbye, everybody.
Y'all pray for
Good
me on
night.
Tuesday, my colonoscopy.
Dude,
I'll be praying
I don't even.
for your butt surgery, right?
Dude,